Hi, Sandra. Thanks for dropping me off.
Bye-bye. Have fun. I'm glad I'm not staying. It's too cold.
It's really cold. All right, take care.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for joining me, folks. Potentially one of the dumbest things I've done in a while. I'm out here to test out the A-frame that we worked on last time. It's going to be really cold tonight. Minus 20 degrees they're calling for, minus 28 with wind chill. So haven't tested it yet this year, so we'll see how it goes. And what's dumb about it is I'm here at the very end of the day. The sun has set. So I've got a lot of gear and it's late. I need to set up a stove, cut firewood, get water. It's gotta be interesting. I think you guys can see me pulling the sleds so fully loaded through this thick snow. It's not a heavy snow, so I didn't imagine it would be so tiring, but the sled slides quite deep in it. All the small trees have fallen over and they keep grabbing onto the sled, so I don't want to take off the backpack, put it back on, take off the backpack all the time, so I try to power through. Oh God, it's exhausting. Come on, come on. I just don't understand what it gets stuck on. Like, it just keeps grabbing onto something. Tiring. Finally. In our last video, I put the door up. Somebody, I'm very sorry, I forgot your name, but I'll show it in the video. Where somebody mentioned that the door appeared to be too small, and it'd be a good idea to put a stick in front of it to kind of lean it against the front bottom of the door. The issue is that the door is actually a bit too long, and I put it inside because I don't want it freezing to the ground on the outside of the shelter. So it may have looked too short, but it's actually too long. There we go. Have our wood stove waiting for us. So I'm gonna set that up pretty quick, get a fire going, so we can take a minute to take a breather and maybe do a little bit of better filming. I'm not taking the time, I just want to get stuff done, so apologies for that, but hopefully it gets better. Alright folks, I'm down to my last working camera. All the action cameras, the GoPros, have stopped working. So this one is a DSLR that I'm filming on right now. It's the first time I'm trying it out today. Hopefully it works out. It's a bit harder to set up in a small space than the GoPros, but they're freezing up. So see if we can get this fire started and get some batteries thawing and cameras and me. Alright. Oh, yay. Fire! Finally! Happy. Oh, it was so cold. I really don't want to leave this shelter, but there's still a lot to be done. And the first priority right now is to go and get some water. So I'm going to head down to the spring. I should put the snowshoes on, but I'm feeling lazy, so I'm going to try to trudge through. Probably upset anybody who wants to use the trail after, but I'm tired. I feel like I'm off the trail. Oh, here we are. Wow, look at this, folks. Gorgeous. Listen how quiet it is. Unbelievable. It's so quiet that I keep imagining I'm hearing things. When I walk, I just kind of stop. And it's always nothing. Let's hope our spring's still running. Because if not, I'm going to have to melt a ton of snow. You don't hear it, but it's running. Oh, fantastic. There we go. Oh, that's gonna be great. I cannot wait to get that heating up on the stove. This hill, this bloody hill. Whew. That hill. Oh, that heat. Oh, that's great. Whew. These are cold cuts. I bought them right before getting here, which, to be honest, wasn't that long ago. This stuff is full of salt. Frozen. That's how cold it is. Okay, so I knew I was gonna get here late. Didn't have time to prep too much. There's a lot more coming in the next little while, but for today, a very simple snack just to get some energy back. Got myself some cold cuts. I'm gonna have with some crackers. Later on, I might make myself a little simple soup. So very simple, but it's what I wanted, something quick and easy, just to fill the belly. Look, I know, alright? People come out, they use YouTube videos, have the most wonderful meals. We've had some pretty spectacular ones, but it's really good. I'm enjoying it. I'm sorry. I'll do better in the coming days. Not bad. I'm not blinding yet. So, my plan is to keep the fire going all night, waking up every once in a while. This setup here is not as efficient as, say, the stone hut with the huge stove in there, where we can fill it, shut all the drafts, and it does great. This I gotta keep it fed a little bit more often. I get a signal here maybe once every 3 hours, and as soon as I start talking, it goes off on the phone. Anyway, if I don't wake up in time to keep the fire going, I did bring some kindling here, so we'll be good to go to start a new fire. I hope I don't have to do that, because it sucks getting up out of your warm sleeping bag to start a new fire. So hopefully I can keep that fire going through the night. We'll see. I got a -30 sleeping bag, so I'll be fine regardless. I don't really need to keep the fire going. It's just more comfortable to get up in the morning where you're not freezing. So we're pretty well set up. I got 2 big bundles of wood, and I've got more if I need to go get it. So pretty happy. I also like to keep my gloves hung up as much as possible, keep them dry for as long as I can. I do always bring spares, especially like on this trip where we're going to be here for several days. I've got 3 different pairs, so I'm always going to have a dry pair on the go. But if I can keep these dry, I don't mind using these. I like them. They're not bad. Oh, the temperatures are going to continue dipping. Hard to believe with how cold it is that it's going to get a lot colder. I have here a -30 sleeping bag. As you guys can see, it's puffed up quite a bit, and that holds a lot of heat. So I'm quite comfortable that I'm going to have a nice night. I'm going to try to keep the stove going just so that I don't have to work too hard in the morning and just heat up the water and start with coffee. So this is going to wrap it up for tonight. Tomorrow, and well, really the real trip begins. So hope you guys have enjoyed so far. I know it's been a weird quick one for today, but definitely a lot more to come. Good night. Alright folks, well, the -30 sleeping bag was definitely the right decision. Really cold night, but this kept me pretty comfortable. I'd wake up every once in a while and keep the stove going, so slept pretty well. It's supposed to warm up quite a bit today in a short period of time, which is kind of strange, but it's going to warm up pretty good. And got a nice couple of days of some camping to do. Next up is coffee. Unscripted bald eagle. I think it's the first time I've ever seen a bald eagle over here. Huh. What a morning. How many times do I have to tell you, get away from my property, get out of here?
All right, I'll go, I guess.
There we go, folks. Survival artists at work.
We haven't survived.
Notice the
anything.
perfect technique.
I've never seen somebody set that one up from the inside before.
I'm short enough. It works.
Yeah, it's got to go a bit more over the middle there. There we go.
Bravo, bravo. Hold on. Alright, so I don't think the guys have seen the flap that Sander and I made. I've seen it on video, but we did a flap for the front to cover the zipper because it always used
So
to
we're not
freeze.
going to be frozen out this time?
Hopefully not. I mean, I was one of the people making it, so it might not work, but... Yeah, there it is. Lovely, a little bit of frosting. But it worked. That's fantastic.
That's a good upgrade.
Yeah.
That's great, Mike.
And the great thing is, you know, when people keep going in and out,
Yeah, we've now got the...
the flap is so long that
Yeah.
even if you leave the bottom open, you're sealed in.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
great.
2 for 1.
Yeah. Thanks to Sandra too. Sandra did a lot of the work. Of course.
You were making kindling, right?
Yeah. Trying to.
Yep.
Welcome to the morning of day 3. Sorry you didn't film a lot yesterday, but we had a crew come in yesterday. We moved a lot of gear and just got it set up and got everybody hooked up. So going forward, probably going to do quite a bit more filming. Some of you might be familiar with a few of our guests. We have our friends Simon and Brandon, who helped build that stone hut shelter that we have. Also have Mark, came down a couple of years ago and spent 3 or 4 days here out in the woods, so that was great. He was here with Brian. Brian couldn't make this year, but he's brought along his son Jake. So we're gonna be having a lot of fun. We're gonna be eating like crazy. The food that these guys prepare, it'll blow your mind. So glad that they're here. So glad we're set up and on to do a lot more filming. A beautiful morning. Had some fresh snow come down last night. Makes things even prettier. That's my shelter. Spent the last 2 nights in there. First night was really cold. Because it was really cold outside, obviously. But last night was a bit more of a normal, I don't know, maybe -5, -8 outside, and in there I was really warm. Worked out great. Morning, Mark.
Hey, Mikey. Hash browns are in there.
Hash browns ready?
Yep. Yeah, they're bacon eggers are on the go, and we're making more coffee.
Nice.
Life is rough.
My timing was right to get here.
Yeah.
So, if anybody remembers Mark, he was here like 2 years ago, I think.
Yep.
A great old time. And as per his reputation, he brings minimal gear.
I don't like bringing gear. It's only 15 minutes. I'm going heavy. Going comfy.
Yeah, he's got this nice little rocket stove. Works, that treat.
Yeah, just made hash browns and gonna boil some coffee. But this year's the new edition. We just put that baffle. It's just a piece of sheet metal, but we put that on there so that the black smoke coming off the wood doesn't char the pans and the pots.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
it helps regulate the heat a little bit, but it also keeps the cookware from getting overly grungy.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Much like ourselves this week.
All right, so a quick introduction of everybody who's here. We have Brandon. You've seen him before.
Hi.
Simon,
Let's
chef
see again.
extraordinaire. And Jake, first time at the shelter.
Hello.
You liking it so far?
It's great so far.
All good except the company is a bit
Well,
Mediocre at best, but.
that's being generous.
Yeah. And of course, we have Mark.
Let's go cut some trees.
Dead trees.
It's gonna be a fun day.
Dead standing trees.
Well, we got this white spruce that's standing dead next to the fire pit, and it's a hazard. It's quite big, and it has to go. It's really it's in the way, and it's more liability than it is to just leave it. Plus, we can utilize a lot of that wood for heating up the tent and the shelter. We like to get ahead of the wood the year before. It's if you're coming out and going to try to survive in the winter time, if you don't have your wood ahead, you're wasting your time. You'll just spend your whole day running around gathering wood and be cold all night. So even though this is standing dead, it still needs a little bit of time to season, so it's good to have it done. And we got a lot of uses for this. We're going to make some rocket stoves out of it, possibly a little bit of a table. We're going to use it to start the bonfire, which you can see here, which is another reason to have this go, because there's going to be quite a bit of heat coming from this fire. And with all this dead wood hanging out of it, it's another hazard. So we should have it out of the way. When we are taking these trees down, we do take into consideration that we are working in a logging environment. There's crappy terrain. It's hard to see things and stuff. So we're going to be taking our time. We're in the middle of nowhere, and not that makes a whole lot of difference in a sense. Regardless of where you're going and you're using the saw, you got to have your personal protective equipment on, just so people know. I've got a set of basically windbreaks or covers over this, but chainsaw pants underneath, steel-toe Dunlop boots, hard hat, and alike. So we're going at it safely. We got our wedges and levers and stuff, and we're not just arbitrarily cutting these trees down. We are taking out the deadfall to try to utilize it as best we can and reduce the hazards around the camp area. My background is a forester, and I'm a certified arborist too, so I don't just arbitrarily decide I'm going to come out and just cut the forest down. We try to do what's right and has minimal impact on it as possible. So before we cut this tree down, I'm just going to prelim it a little bit and get a better idea of what way I want the tree to fall. They're mostly fairly neutral, so as long as I can do it with minimal effort, I'm going to probably try to put this tree down where it's not going to have a whole lot of impact on hitting the other trees, but also facilitate getting the tree cut up. I don't want to put it in a place where it's just really, really hard to walk if I can help it. Again, a lot of the times these trees are going to tell you where they need to go. You don't have a lot of options with them. So basically we're going to prelim this tree, assess it, find a direction, and then we'll go over that and just basically show you where we're going to put it down and see if we're any good at what we're talking about. So, just looking at this tree, I don't think I want to put it across here. This is going to be the fire pit. And you pretty well need holes to put them in. You can lay them up pretty quick and just hang them up in other trees, and that's never ideal. There's a lot of limbs on this, and really the only clear path of fall that I have is going in this direction. So it's a very narrow window, probably about 6 feet between these trees, but I've got quite a lot of distance going that direction in order to get it down. So because we're next to the pit here, I think we're going to put it down this way, live it up, and then just bring the wood this way. But there's a pretty narrow window there, but I'm pretty sure I can get that through there with no trouble. So that's where we're aiming. On this side over here, there's going to be our escape route, 45 degrees straight back on this side. And once the tree's ready to go over, after you've got it set up, that's where I'll be going when the tree goes that way. Never want to be to the side, because if the tree rolls, there's that potential that it could hit you, so you don't go over there. With limby trees like this, that's a lot of the times what happens. When the trees land, they'll roll one way or the other, or if their limbs are really springy, they'll land and then the butt will kick back. So never behind it, never to the side. 45 degrees, about 10 feet back, 10 to 15 feet. So what we've done there is we've bore cut that tree. It's quite neutral. I'll get this out of the way so you can see. And all we did was we made a release cut on the back of it. If that tree was really positive leaning, meaning it wanted to go that way, when I made that cap at the back, the tree would have taken off. So conversely, if it was leaning backwards and I just decided to come through the back of it, it would have pinched the saw and caught it. So to take away that possibility of happening, we drive the wedge in there and then that holds it. So now that tree's ready to go. It's been capped, and we just drive the wedge, and if I've done my job right, that should go right down there and lay flat.
Thinking about it.
Oh yeah. You can hear the fiber pulling on it now. A couple more whacks. There she goes. If you look at the back of that tree, another reason why I like to do the bore cuts, in this case it wasn't so bad, but you can get in here and you can see that there's punky wood in this tree. And if it was really rotten, if we simply came through the back with the saw, you could be cutting into basically holding wood if it's rotten, and you cut through the back and then there's no holding wood, right? But if you bore cut in, it tells you a lot about what's going on inside the tree, so you can make your hinge wood and set it properly before you come out the back. The other thing that it does too is it allows you to have a nice level cut. If you come through the back and you're off a little bit here, by the time you get to the face of the cut, you've either undercut it or you're way above, and you don't have an effective hinge. But if you start at the hinge and work your way back, functionally it doesn't really matter where you come out on the back, because this is what counts, right? So it allows you to be a lot more accurate. It also gives you a lot of prediction as to what's going on with the tree, so you can determine how much hinge wood to leave to have a safe cut and have it drop.
Great job. That was a pretty thin strip to hit. You got it perfect.
Well, one of the things I was looking at too with that tree, the opening wasn't too horrible because it's open up above, but if you look at the side of the tree, there's way less limbs on this side of the tree and a lot more on this side. So if I favored it to the middle of that hole,
yeah,
it would have got hung up in this tree and it wouldn't have come over. Or it may have got over and then it would have twisted and turned, and you never really want that in any situation. You kind of want a nice even straight fall.
So basically it fell exactly where you wanted it.
Well, I don't know if they ever do, but that's pretty darn close.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Great job.
The other thing too, like I said, you're dealing with dead wood. Anytime you're cutting any tree, all the hinge woods on trees, depending upon the season and the species of trees, they all act differently, right? And then again, you're dealing with the condition of the wood. It's a dead tree, right? So you don't 100% know what you're getting into. Although you see them standing dead, you always suspect that the tree's rotten. I've gone into live trees and then they look perfectly fine, but they're just a pipe, right? Because that outside of that tree is where all the nutrients travel and the water, but then the inside of the tree can be hollow. It can still be quite strong, but it can be rotten. So when you get into a situation where you're dropping the trees, just always assume they're rotten. That's why I bore cut everything, even though, you know, you're probably sure that it's not, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking, right? So this, I want these to be fairly long and tall. That's about 16 inches. I figure about 18 inches, I'll probably cut it off there. I'm going to punch it through with the chainsaw going through.
Down here, yeah.
So it can only go 16 inches max, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking we're going to put our air hole right about there.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So we'll put one through on this side and one through on the other, and I'll hopefully we'll try to hit the middle.
More or less the same spot, but we're gonna come at it from the top with the chains out.
Yep, exactly.
Gotta get it.
Start it. Once it gets bid, it won't come out. There we go. Starting to
Yeah, we got wood.
do damage now. So always try to keep it straight. Watch your bit, because if you go off, you see how you're turning the bit here? Just try to keep it on that axis, because if you don't, it just end up going crooked.
Wonky wonky.
Yeah. So that's probably more than halfway through anyway, Simon.
Well, I would think so, but we can do this.
That?
There's two victims right here.
There's a fucking this sub here and a sub over there, man.
Yeah, what do you want?
He's deader than the doornail.
What do you want? Just tell me what you want.
Look, the snow's a lot deeper here than I thought.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think I actually got to go put my other pants on so I can put them over my boots there. I think I'm gonna end up filling my boots there. Not if I was it right.
That white spruce is a joy to split, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
I hate white spruce. That's all we've got.
Well, it burns just like everything else, so.
Yeah. But it's
Getting it.
But it splits like nothing.
Front one took it. It's got it.
Very nice.
We do fire good.
Yeah, I think that'll go now.
It'd be easier pulling that if it's on the end, Jake.
Go.
So, just another white spruce that's dead, standing dead. Probably some good wood in it and stuff, but again, it's adjacent to the rock shelter. So we're gonna bore cut it and try to, they got a very narrow window of maybe about 5 feet that we can plant this tree. So we'll just see how good we are to get it down that way, and hopefully it doesn't hang up, or we can get it straight down on the ground. Well, that went exactly where we wanted to. That's good. Oh, just trying to reverse start a logger stove, get the embers in from the top down, and then it should just start drawing the air, and once it catches at the bottom and dries out a little bit, it should burn pretty steady. But we know, we checked it out, drilled the top through and the bottom, we shined light through it so there's airflow, right? So it's just a question of lighting it. Sometimes people will put rubbing alcohol or something down there, but we're trying to go au naturel with this cedar wood. Anyway, I'm sure we'll get it. It's just be a matter of time. A lot of times people too will put birch bark in the bottom and have it come up through the top.
Let me know when you're ready.
Yep, go ahead.
More?
There you go. Let her go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Can I do anything? Well, I think we're probably good, Brandon. We'll have to. I'm gonna cut the onions here in a bit, and
I'd love that bacon.
cut the Sussex
country butcher?
Yeah.
Well, we've got fire on the bottom of the rocket stove now, so
It's not gonna stop anytime soon.
You can see it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool. Ball them up. All right. I'll ball them and you need to wash my hands after because I need some of that rocket fire.
Oh yeah, no worries.
You don't even have to wash your hands. It'll probably just add flavor.
No, I meant afterwards. He didn't wash his hands before.
Quiet on set!
There we go. We don't need any more heat. We're going to cook the rest of this on the stove, and then we're going to put the cheese on it.
That smells amazing, man. Did I pick the right spot to be standing?
Oh, you're good.
Oh, man.
You're in the exact right spot. New Brunswick moose right there, bud. And Jake, you got good leather.
Yep.
Fire that in, take it on the stove. I'll bring the lid in. I'll get tin foil. I think we're going to quench that, Mikey. And we might be able to keep it. That's on, that's on, that's on. Might be able to get another burn out of that. Yep.
Awesome. That worked out phenomenal.
Well, once I get going, but again, learning curve. Now I know that if we're going to feed it air from the bottom, then top burn it. But it worked, but just worked backwards. Because everything's better with cheese. That's gooey. Perfect. Oh my goodness, that moose looks awesome. Yeah.
Perfectly stuck together.
Yeah, I'm on that. Jake, you got a plate?
Yeah. Cheese hanging out the side.
Oh, that's all right. That's why then you know it's good.
Well, it's the morning of day 4. A bit of a chilly night, but not too bad. Warm in the sleeping bag. Problem is I didn't hang up my boots last night, so I've been sitting here for quite a while waiting for my boots to thaw because I couldn't put them on. They were frozen and the felts had kind of crumpled up in a way that I just couldn't put my feet in. So I've been waiting for that to dry to head up to the main camp where more than likely breakfast is well on its way. All right, just had another fantastic breakfast and we're back on to doing some work. So this camping trip has gone from a camping trip to a full-on logging operation. We're getting a whole bunch of wood ready for many more trips for this winter, and any kind of rotten wood that would kind of just stay there and make the place look ugly, we're able to burn it away in our massive fire pit. We now have benches around the fire and even a spot for a little mini kitchen, so a lot of work done in just one day, really. So a lot more fun to come.
Yeah, that should hold it.
Awesome.
You could do it with another one if you really had a desperate need, but it's held pretty well.
Yeah.
We can do that with rope too.
We got ourselves a torch.
Yep. Yep. Well, it's easier to fill it so you can stuff it. Essentially, it's a feed it type
just
of
make a
fire.
fire in there.
You can put a little bit of wood. Then
Yeah.
once it gets going on its own, you don't have to do anything. It's an easy way to get them going.
Yeah.
Just make sure
As
what
we've
you set
seen.
them on.
Air is everything. But the fact that you can put stuff in that.
Yeah, I mean, you can just grab some embers from a pre-existing fire, just drop it in there. And
Oh.
there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be the easiest way if you got one going.
There was only a big fire going on.
Yeah.
Have a little bit of tinder and shove it in, and you got something on the go.
Awesome.
Split. Sorry, Simon.
How's that working for me?
It will. Once it catches, it starts drawing.
It's gonna go. What do we got?
It always does go.
I love that rocket stove.
It's pretty efficient. It's instant heat. You gotta feed it,
Yeah.
but it's instant.
Oh yeah, you got to
and
feed
reliable.
rocket stove. It got to feed it by nature. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's no way.
Well, and that's why it works so well.
Yeah.
And I know
burns that
420
so bad.
degrees on the thermal gun on that. It's excellent for
much?
searing, for about 420.
Jeez.
For searing the scallops.
Yeah. Oh, I remember they were seared perfect last years ago
Brown.
when you had that.
Yeah, flip. And the bacon grease is going to abound. Once I find it, it's in there somewhere. Brandon, if you ever see that bacon grease on your travels, bring it out. Because we're going to need it for scallops later.
The bottom of the pan so we get the oil off it.
You guys ever notice that whenever I'm filming the frying pan, I'm always filming downwind from it? Oh,
it
man.
smells good.
Yeah.
Smell-o-vision.
Nature of what we're cooking. Yeah. Perfect.
And
Grab me hand it.
Timer done, Mike.
Hey, you.
the amount of like how long it lasts is so much more than butter.
Steaks are ready. Okay, so we have the steaks. We have scallops. Bacon. Just everything.
Mushrooms and onions. Yeah.
Oh, man.
We're doing good.
Yeah, this has been a great camping trip. I mean, company excluded, but the food's been amazing.
Slightly outstanding. Hold that.
Now let's see if the battery's on.
Yep.
It's off now.
So I gotta be on.
Red dot's still there.
I can see us.
Well, folks, that's it for this trip. We had so much fun. We have Jake here, we have Brandon, Mark, and Simon. I hope you guys enjoyed. What did you guys think of the shelter?
Fantastic. Warm. Oh, it was great.
Yeah, a second trip, that won't be the last. It's, you always come out into this and you expect that it's going to be cold and miserable. When you're in there, it's just like a sauna. It's hot, so you're not suffering.
Yeah. And
And
it's
a
not
couple
like
hot
we
meals.
starved either.
Yeah, no, we're not starved. Bears at the dump.
So thanks again for watching, folks, and we hope to see you again soon. Take care.
You guys.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, guys.
Awesome, bro.
Book it.